Let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars season win total. At my book, 8.5, and this is even heavier juice to the under. Under is minus 150. To win the division, plus 375. Win the conference, 16-1. Super Bowl, 33-1. To make the playoffs, plus 225. And Leonard Fournette, comeback player of the year, plus 1,400. Let's start there. I don't know if I can trust Fournette to bounce back, and he's such a key piece to this offense. No more Blake Bortles around to ruin things. How much better will Nick Foles make this team? It's clear that the Jags got better with Nick Foles, but how much? A big blow not having Telvin Smith this year. Big blow. It's going to mean that Miles Jack will be needed desperately to step up. He's a great player, but they need him badly. Josh Allen dropped in their lap at number 7 overall. Can this team, Donnie, have 2 bad years in a row?
You know what? I'm actually glad they had a bad year last year because I think you can redo some things. I like Tom Coughlin as the head of the organization, but again, it didn't get off to that great of a start in the offseason where Tom Coughlin's out there going, I don't care if it's not mandatory. Everybody should be here. And Jalen Ramsey is going to come out. He's going to mouth off at that, but it seems like he's calmed down a little bit from his boisterousness, as we like to say, over the last years and offseason. Taking a look at the Jaguars itself, I like the fact they got Nick Foles. Why? Just because of the simple fact he's a calming influence in the huddle with all these guys. Do you think Blake Bortles, when a play comes in where the guy, rip right, 32 extreme right slant, like, man, he's not going to complete this pass out here. And then he rolls out of the pocket and the guy's running wide open for 5 yards and he can't hit the guy. Nick Foles is going to be that guy that's going to be accurate. He's going to run the short passing game. He's going to tell the guys in the huddle like he did in Philadelphia, I love you guys. Let's go out and win this football game. That's all fine and good, but we need to still see it on the field as it progresses. The one thing I do like being at the IFBC last year with Whale Capper, I think this defense is going to come back. Now, Telvin Smith, retiring for a year or saying like he doesn't want to play this year, that definitely does hurt them a little bit. But this pass rush is going to get after people. And if you have a pass rush that gets after people and reloading in the draft, you already have 2 of the most solid cornerback tandems in the NFL on this team. If the defense rebounds, that's what it's going to. And look, we're talking about a defense that's rebounding here. That was top 5 in the NFL, top 6, top 7, depending on which metrics you were using last year. So if they even step it up just a little bit and have any offensive competency quarterback play, you're going to be fine. But, Jimmy, get back to your original point. It's hard to trust the running back. I mean, there's an MO there at LSU. Oh, my God, look at the highlights. Yeah, but he missed 3 games that season. We're opening game, first half. I tweaked my hammy, never the same the rest of the year. I don't know if you're going to get that top play out of Leonard Fournette this year, but I think you're going to have an upgrade. And just taking a look at a team total with a little bit of plus money, I like the Jaguars to get that 9th win this year because I think that defense is going to rebound.
Wow, Donnie thinks the Jaguars can bounce back and get over that win total at a big plus price. Whale Capper, do you think the Jaguars have it in them to bounce back?
I don't. I don't expect much out of this team. If they land in the 7-9, 9-7 range, I won't be surprised. But I also am not in any way interested in getting on a wins over, expecting them to be competitive in the AFC, and the reasons are pretty straightforward. Their real only strength, period, on the whole team is their pass defense. Okay, and if you have one thing that you want in today's NFL as far as the defense goes, it's the ability to cover cover wide receivers, cover tight ends, and they have guys that can do that. That is great, but it doesn't put points on the board. And great, you got Nick Foles. That solves your quarterback problem. But I think a lot of the things that made Nick Foles successful are still in Philadelphia. They didn't travel to Jacksonville with him. Namely, the coaching staff, the scheme, the protection he was afforded by the offensive line, the weapons around him in the passing game. All of those things that were part of his, key parts to his success in Philadelphia don't exist at anywhere close to the same level in Jacksonville. And so to expect him to swoop in and all of a sudden see a significant turnaround in how your offense performs, I think is a reach. That said, their defense is good enough that if they can create turnovers, if they can score points on defense, if they can stymie opponents' passing games, they'll be in it. They may win games, but I'm in no way, shape, or form counting on Leonard Fournette to be a contributing factor in this NFL season coming up. I mean, I've sold my Leonard Fournette stock years ago, and I don't think we've seen the bottom of it yet. And I would say Doug Marrone, I don't love the situation he's in where he's moving offensive coordinators around and he's going to break in a new guy this year. I don't love the situation he's in where he's effectively under Tom Coughlin in terms of decision-making on how he sets up his scheme and how he runs his offense. Those are huge problems, huge red flags. And, just kind of the general old school nature that they want to run this football team does not play well, in my opinion, for current status of the NFL in terms of regular season, how many points you have to score to win football games. So all of this said, I think my most likely projection is this team comes in around 7-9. But I don't see enough of an edge to bet them on the under, especially the way it's juiced out right now. So I'm gonna politely refrain from backing the Jaguars. I'm going to look for opportunities to fade them when they're going up against high-powered, dynamic offenses that can attack you on both. That can attack you with a balanced offensive attack that don't specifically rely on their passing game. And then I'm going to look for opportunities to back them against the spread as we get deeper into the season, as defense starts to matter more, as the game's scores start to tick down in terms of total score. I think they'll have better chances to rack up wins later in the season than the early part of the season. But I think you look up halfway through the season and you're like, Jags are 3-5. They're out of the playoff race. Is Doug Marrone going to get fired? Is Nick Foles the answer? I think all of these questions we'll be asking through the middle part of this season, which means I'm not interested in backing them on their wins total over for sure. I'm just going to look for opportunities to bet against them when I see the mismatches against, in terms of being able to score points.
I think very good points made by both of you guys. Although on different sides of the fence, there's a ton of volatility with this Texans team and with this Jaguars team. They both have high upsides and could break down. And the Jaguars could win 6, could win 9 or 10. Tricky team to cap.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.